Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode here in Chess Portugal or Portugal Chess. Or this guy doesn't have any idea how to play the fucking game. I'm Mikey, your host today, and today we are going to be reviewing two classical games that I played as practice to the internal classical Sen championship of this year. Um, these two games, I'm gonna show them to you. They were positive. Let's just put it like that. The last, like, like the last tournament saga was like awful. I'm gonna say awful. Like I won like one of the games. Like another one I won because my opponent didn't show up, and like that like to me it doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, today we are going to be reviewing two games. Um, in the first game, I am with the Black Thesis against Enrique Correa, which is another player from the club. Um, this Enrique Correa guy, the scriptwriters have informed me that he will be very important for our saga. He is like, I'm gonna just say, he's like Goku and I'm like Vegeta. It kind of works a little bit like that. But yeah, we decided. But yeah, this is a practice game. He opens with e4, the king's pawn opening. I respond with c6, normal stuff. The carry on defense, d4, d5, and here we have e takes on d5, which is the exchange carry on. I really capture with the c pawn, and here he develops his knight to f3. Here I go with bishop g4, immediately pinning the knight to the queen. Here he develops his other knight to c3. Instead of playing the most solid c3 or even knight d2, of course, yeah, the bishop is not very good, but I mean, knight c3 is not really that good. It would be best to play c3. He goes knight c3, I go knight c6. Still all very normal. He pins my knight to the king, and Stockfish doesn't like doesn't like it. I think on this particular depth, Stockfish doesn't like. I analyzed. I don't really know if it was with higher depth or lower depth, but it said that this was the best move. Here it doesn't really agree on it, and I mean I'm at that side. I also don't really agree with this move. I just play knight f6, just developing another knight. h3, bishop takes knight, queen takes bishop, and e6 is on the board. This is like, I'm not gonna really lose a lot of time into this game because this is very, very simple, very, very straightforward. We have lots of these exchange Caro-Kann variation positions, and they are very simple. Normally there's no bishop here, and I just like want to go a6 and b5 because this normally does not here is c3. It's the Carlsbad pawn structure. That is a structure. I think it's like this, and that's 3 in this side and 2 here, which was by this minority of pawns on the queen side against these three, and these pawns want to march forward to try to disrupt this, and then with my knight, queen, and rook, I want to try to win the pawns, and that's how GMs play the exchange variation of the Caro-Kann, or maybe not because GMs normally don't play the exchange variation or the Caro-Kann at all. He goes bishop g5, this double pin setup, which I've played this before actually in another classical tournament. If you remember the first round of the last year's classical internal tournament, my opponent played this setup. Now I had a very much better position than my opponent in that game, and in that game the position was kind of like the same thing as here. And in that position, I played, if I'm not wrong, rook c8. But here I just developed my bishop to e7 and prepared to cast because long ago I did not like that these pawns would be like this if bishop takes. But it's perfect. Now I find it perfectly okay, just putting the rook on the b file. Of course, I still prefer to like have an open c file in this position. He castles, I castle. Straightforward, nothing really special. The game is the game is like equal, nothing really special. He takes my knight, I recapture, and here he makes the first dubious move, queen to g3. Now this move doesn't really like say anything to me. I would think that a much better move is just like, I don't know, rook d8 or rook here, or just solving some no businesses maybe. Yeah, rook d to d is the best. The position is kind of dead and there's nothing really to do, but I just here the engine prefers knight a4, which I mean it's kind of the only like active move, trying to put the knight in this fairly decent c5 square. Please, queen g3. Of course, there's also always the ideas of pin, and here my first instinct told me, because I mean this is like the first move where I actually start to think, because the rest was all like super simple and super like openish and like just very simple. Here I started thinking of king h8, which I mean just because like that there are no bishop h6 shenanigans, my position is a little bit better here. But then I started seeing some lines where I could like jump with the knight to h5 or e4, and then a lot of pieces would be traded. And here I mean there is an advantage if black finds the move c5, or if black plays queen a5, which I also saw briefly but didn't chose, or just rook c8 normally. Maybe rook b here would also be kind of good. It wouldn't do much. Maybe even queen here. But of course that all allows bishop here. But yeah, king h8 just seems like the safest move. But I started because I was seeing that the game was like I didn't have much advantage, neither did he, and the game was a little bit drawish and dead, so I just started to like consider trading some pieces. I considered two lines here, knight h5 and knight a4. First I looked at knight h5, which after which is just completely drawish, which I saw that they cannot move the queen because I won the bishop. But after bishop takes, here I could actually recapture. No, I couldn't. But yeah, I would take with the queen, and now he has to like move the queen somewhere. Let's say like here the best move is queen e3. In a position like that, there's nothing like I can just go for the open file. I can go for c5 here. I can like put my knight again in the center or something. There's nothing. And I also I also looked at I also looked at knight e4. Knight e4 is what I played in the game, and it says here that it gives a small advantage for white, which may be true, but like I mean I saw lines where knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, queen takes, or if bishop takes first and queen takes, knight takes, pawn takes. I saw a bunch of lines. I spent like 20 minutes, not 20 minutes, like 15 minutes, maybe like 7 or something in this move. Knight takes on knight e4. I didn't take anything here. Knight e4. Let me just select it. Knight e4. Did I waste the time? No, the game was very drawish and all. Here he traded bishops and we traded knights. Why did I choose this line? Because in this line I have an e pawn. I have a double e pawn, of course, but the pawn, I mean, it's on his side of the board. Like it starts to enter in this square, and it can be easily protected with moves like f5, which I wanted to play anyways. There's still c5 coming, and there's just a comfortable endgame, and just creates a little bit of imbalance in the position, which I mean is what I wanted because I wanted to win this game. Here he plays f3, which is a little error because now I can take on f3, and then like the game is just much comfortable, very comfortable. I mean, just see here, and because this diagonal is just super weak. But actually here I make another little mistake. I push the pawn again because I just saw that maybe I can like push, and I was seeing lines where, if I'm not wrong, was it already here? Yeah, when rook protects, there would be some weird line where I would be able to protect a party with c5, something like that. But he didn't. This, oh my god, stop! There's a fly here. Here he played immediately queen e1. That is the best move. I was like seeing here the engine even says that it likes c3 better, or like rook from f to d1. But I was seeing like this rook to d1 was just a mistake because of maybe yeah, queen b4 also works. I was just seeing c5, or maybe I was seeing queen b4. I really do not remember. But anyways, he played queen e1, which I was concerned because I mean I cannot defend this pawn after like queen here. I cannot defend this pawn, so I just pushed it again. Now this is like I wouldn't say it was a waste of time. Maybe it technically was. Maybe I just should have played like c5, because maybe if here you just take, and if c3, maybe I could have just took takes, and I don't really know. It's not easy to save the pawn. I just played. I also think for a bit. I just played e2 because I thought that the pawn, the queen in e2 would be worse for him than the queen in e3. This was just me. Like the engine doesn't think so because it's technically a waste of time. And yeah, it kind of is, but I mean here I'm just capturing the free pawn. He takes the pawn and I play c5. I was saying because if the queen is here, then it's just way worse for me. Here it's completely losing after d5. Yes, I reviewed this before. d5, I mean you cannot take because you just on your queen. He didn't find d5. Fortunately, he finds c3. I saw d5 and I just thought that it wasn't that good of a move. I don't know why. Because because I was d5. I was planning in pushing the pawn to f5, which is still damn lost. Because all that black needs, white needs, is just to put some pressure on the central pawn and me trying to defend it. But I mean, it's white that's making the pressure. Oh, and it can still push. Still has a very strong pawn. Just can play c4, just consolidating. Go back a little bit to here. My opponent played c3, which I saw it and I was like, oh, this is just an annoying move. Why? Because now there's nothing. Now the game has no imbalance. All the imbalance that I try to create here, it doesn't work. I took the pawn, he takes back, and I play queen b4, just trying to like attack some of his weaknesses. This weak pawn and this weak pawn. I mean, this one is defended, but this one ain't. Play rook fd1, just protecting the pawn. I went rook d1, just adding another attacker, and he played queen here, wanting a queen trade. Now, I don't really know if trading the queens in this position is good. Let's see what the engine thinks. The engine doesn't think so. It's still only 0.8, and with perfect play, maybe it's a draw. But I saw this, and I was like, I mean, nah, the end game doesn't really sound very pleasant. I mean, it's a 2-rook endgame, and normally in the 2-rook endgames, pawn advantage is all you need to win, and also he has a majority of 2 against 1 on the queen side, so I didn't really want to trade the queens. I played rook a to b8. Of course, I said that I didn't want to trade the queens, but now if queen takes, Rook takes, I mean, I am attacking this pawn, and there's no way of him to defend this extra pawn, so it's probably just going to be drawn. So imagine this, I just take, rook takes, and it's just a complete dead draw. I mean, here white can try, I don't know, rook to c here, just getting into the open file and trying mate, h6, and there's just really nothing else that you can do to, like, try to get an advantage. Only if you're like, of course you can, why is blue? You can, of course, try to get an advantage. The position was very drawish. Here he didn't take, he played b3, just consolidating the position, of course. Here I played a5. Here I even think b3 is kind of a mistake. I mean, I say, like, it is kind of a mistake. I mean, the position is still, like, super dead. There's just nothing that you can do here. The position is completely, like, dead. There's nothing. Played a5, just trying to expand a little bit on the queen side. Rook to the open file, queen back. Then I saw, like, this spin, and I got ideas with e5, just trying to, like, do something around these lanes. Of course, there's rook c5 is very annoying because now I have to go another move. It's now white actually has an advantage because I now have to defend this pawn. You could b5 and some that and trade. He doesn't fight. He plays rook c4, which I also saw that it's another move I saw. Just adds triple protection for this pawn and is a little bit annoying. I still went with e5 anyway. And after king h1, which is actually a mistake because here white has the advantage after queen e3. Because now of course, now the position, now you're attacking a pawn and, like, it's like, if I'm not, you're just gonna trade into a much better endgame because there's a 2-1 against here, and maybe you win. Maybe again with perfect play. I don't even know if, like, you can actually win it. He didn't fight. He played king h1. There's also f4. He takes on d4, which is bad. Well, he goes king h1, just getting out of the problems. Playing very solidly, very, like, positionally my opponent. I played queen b5, a huge blunder because my opponent has d5, and of course this is a blunder because this is just now like a passed pawn. Also rook c5 here, that hits the queen and this pawn, that wins pawns. g5, here he didn't, he played queen c3, just an attempt of, like, to win this pawn solidly. I took because I knew that if I didn't, he was gonna win, and now the position is now just worse for me. And here I even thought that it was better to take with this rook because if you take with this rook, now I have I'm gonna play now, but now blunders made in one. But, like, here I just thought that I was, like, much here it blunders made in one. I guess not because you can, like, block with the queen, but still here, I mean, it's just, it looks like it creates imbalance. You attack this pawn, you get your queen into the second rank. Of course, that's not what I played in the game. I acknowledge the threat. I firstly, if I'm not wrong, traded the rooks exactly. Queen takes on d4, and I just went h6 because then there's no back ring checkmate threat, and I still threaded to go queen e2, just put some pressure. Of course, he shuts that down with a queen trade. A very frustrating move by my opponent to me. Of course, to him, probably good. I don't really know because now if I don't trade the queens, he's gonna have a slight advantage, and even if I trade, I mean, it's gonna be just a tether. So I take, he takes, he plays, and now I play rook b2, just trying to infiltrate again. And here my opponent advances to a4. Here I even thought that if he just let his pawn to die and played rook c1, that it would be a win, because after rook takes pawn, the pawn starts marching forward. But the thing is that I didn't saw this in the game. It's not king goes. It's actually rook back, and now you stop the pawn narrowly in time, and it's still a dead draw. Now you come with the king because your king, my king, um, gets there first than his, and it's just a dead draw. Even if there's anyone winning, it's probably me. Yeah, exactly. You can't recapture back the rook. And yeah. Okay, let's get back to a4. But here I miscalculated, of course. I thought that my king wasn't gonna get in time, but the rook gets. No, I did. Did I? Yeah, I played rook c2 because I knew that now he can't save the pawn. Only with rook c4, d4, which is actually what he played. But playing f5, just tried to like start advancing in this side because if you want to have a draw, you can't just leave your pawns clustered. And now it allows my king to move to this side. I wanted to turn the rook or something because king h2. The only way I'm gonna say the only winning stuff ideas because if you because keeping your king in the first rank is like just bad. King f7. Actually, I have f4, which is a little bit annoying because my plan was going king here to attack this rook, but this just shuts down a little bit of things. I still going with my king to e6, king g3, and g5. Just because takes. Actually, play that takes. The king has no way. Let's just picture something like this. No, not like this because then it gets an advanced pawn, but just trading, I think. Yeah, not only do I win a pawn, yeah, it's still, of course, still a dead draw, but like, it's what we want. Plus, king f3, what he played in this position. I mean, it's a rook endgame, it's drawn. You just have to keep playing well. I played instantly rook c3. I had the game not instantly, always with a, like, 5-minute time disadvantage. But we played the moves fairly quickly because this game had no thought put into it. It should have, yes, it should. There was some blunders made and all that were punished. But yeah, it really wasn't that great of a game. It was instructive, of course, but like it was a little bit dead. Here I took on f4. Here I just wanted to get a little bit advantage. He took with the rook, and I went king as I always wanted to. He goes with the rook there, and now I don't think I sack. Do I sack my pawn? Yes, I sack my pawn. It's a little bit dangerous, but now I was looking at maybe I can promote the pawn, but it's still probably a draw because now I pick up these two pawns, and we are very happy here. Surprisingly, he didn't take that pawn on h6, which to me would have more complications than not taking. But he chooses to take this pawn on a5, trying to salvage maybe his pawn on a4. I take the pawn on c4, and he goes rook a6, just pressure my pawn. I move it up, and h4. We check, and now I just start to shoulder the king. Of course, this is a dead draw. Because now I get in time to take. Why did I play my thing? I get in time to take the h4 pawn. I cannot trade the rooks, obviously, because if I do, he just has an advanced pawn. But I can go there and just completely stop his pawn. Go here. He starts pushing. Even if he starts pushing, he will never get there because he can't just start marching his king to that side because he still has to be careful with my h5 pawn. Here I shoulder his king, he checks, and here I just go straight for the pawn. It's still a drawn endgame. I just go straight for the pawn. I'm not even gonna like be seeing the moves. You can just see. Here I take the pawn, and we agree to a draw. Now it was a 56 move game. Very instructive. It was like a game where I blundered. I'm gonna be honest. I blundered. Where did I blunder? Was it on b6? I think it was. This idea was not good, but no, this is still wrong. And not king there. Queen. It wasn't this. What was it? I don't really Was it a line that I saw? Was it P3 here? No. Was it Rook C1 here? No, this is a draw. No. Queen takes on. No. Here. Yeah, D5 in this position was a blunder. Um, Queen take. No. Yeah, D5 in that position was obviously a blunder. And even the other move that I wanted to play that was not E takes on D5 was. I know it didn't have to make this move, but yeah, E5 would have been a blunder, and I actually wanted to make that move. So yeah, now let's jump to game number 2. Yeah, I have 2 games to show you guys. Don't ask me why it's called Diddy Party. I just yeah. And we're back. Now I am with the white pieces against Rodrigo Raimundo, which you may remember from, was it, I think, round 4 of the last year's tournament, where I played against him and won also with the white pieces. Just keep in mind that these classical games were played in a timestamp of 30 minutes plus 30 seconds. Now, last year's tournament was played in timestamps of 90 minutes plus 30 seconds, but this year's tournament would only consist in 30 minutes per game. I opened up with d4 and he responded knight f6. He was planning in playing this c5 system because I used to be playing a lot of the Joe Bava London, but mostly in rapid game because it works fairly well and I enjoy playing that opening. But I went knight f3, still looking to play a London system. He responded with t5, the best way to play the position, and here I went with c4. So yeah, this is the Queen's Gambit. E6 to decline. This is just dog shit, but this is what I play now. Bishop g5. This is the line that I was talking to you in the last episode of the saga. Here he actually took the pawn, which, I mean, there are lots of ways to play this position. Like queen c2, this is a Catalan, I want to go e4, I want to put my bishop here. The engine says it's not the best way to play. I played it. Goes knight there, I just block with the knight, we trade knights. I want to keep my knight here. Here I don't even know if it prefers taking with, oh, it prefers taking with this bishop. I didn't even thought that was a possibility. But this is actually a system in the Nimzo Indian where black purposely trades his bishop for, I think, a bad knight here, because if he takes with the bishop, this bishop is not that good in here and it likes to go like here or in here or here. So I didn't do that. Maybe I just didn't saw. Okay. Played g3, normal Catalan move. Remember his opponent. Here we went for this little line. I don't really know if I took the queen. Took my queen. And here he was saying that there was a bishop takes on c7. It just still says that it's like equal, but I did not do that. I taked back. He took with the rook, and now I play e3 just to solidify here this d5 d4 pawn. Now, the position is still drawn. He is a pawn up, so I gotta be careful. My game is still more comfortable than him. I have more pieces developed. I'm gonna go on my bishop. He still has to move this knight and this bad bishop. And he plays b5 just to try and salvage this pawn. I really... we discussed this after the game, and this is like the game losing mistake. It still says that it's equal, but yeah, this idea is like game losing. Why? Because he's trying to hold down to this pawn, and it's the Queen's Gambit. You normally can't do it. I can't believe I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Queen's Gambit. Don't play the Queen's Gambit, guys. Play like the fucking Halloween Gambit. That's more fun. Or like the King's Gambit. I should learn it. Instead of learning the King's Gambit, I just play. No, because nobody plays e5 at my level. They're all pussies. They don't play e5. I don't know. I sometimes do. But never. I'm also a pussy. It's an evil world we live in. But yeah, b5, because I mean, the whole idea that I put it, it's like putting the bishop in this fianchetto, and it just is gonna hit the rook now. And there's no easy way of salvaging this, right? Not immediately. I first was looking at like b5. What is this? Like, is this actually good? So I played g2. It still says that it's equal after c6. Which, I mean, I'm not gonna argue. But now you play a4, and it's now just tough. He still managed to find the best move, which is bishop a6, the only move that holds the position together. Here I play king e2. Yeah, this is just me. Like, I don't know. I like my chess. Like, you know, like there's like Mikhail Tal that likes to sacrifice his pieces into like a super uh, crazy attack. Then there's like Magnus Carlsen, which is like more of a solid player. Then there's like me, who when he gets the chance, he likes to move his king up to like e2 or something. It's not that great because now b4 causes some complications because c3 is coming. I have to go king d1 now to stop c3, and now the position is way worse to me. He plays rook d6. I never considered this move, rook d6. I mean, yeah, he gives more protection to this pawn, but like rook d6 just doesn't say anything to me. I mean, technically, yeah, you have to develop your knight and your other rook. Like, this is just not that great for. Maybe it was just better if. Let me just go back to just play c3. Is that the computer idea? Not really. What is the computer idea? Computer idea is to play e5. Yeah, this is a good move, obviously. You just take advantage of everything in the position. But yeah, rook d6 just seems weird. And this is kind of interesting because I'm blundering a lot in these games, and I'm not like losing the game. But like, yeah, I've been blundering, and at the moment that I go against a better opponent, like I immediately am gonna get slaughtered. I'm not saying no, not a better opponent, like just an opponent that like sees the mistake. Like, it doesn't need to be better because they're all good players. I'm gonna be a 1531 Elo Fide. In Classical, the other had a little bit more than I. It's very good. He's a very good player. I never say that. I mean, I won once against him in like in Classical. We have played against each other in Fide tournaments. Like what? There was once in that tournament, Classical, more 2 times. This is like this doesn't really count. Like, yeah, we played 3 times. He beat me 2, and I won 1. So like, it's not like he's bad. I mean, of course not. Because f5 here, the position better than me. I really got surprised. I thought that here he would just, I don't know. I don't really fucking know what he would do. Like, see here, takes. But the knight is not, but the position is not that active. And this bishop is very bad here. I mean, not that bad. But yeah, here I take with the knight. Here he even retreats him. He doesn't really trade the bishop because, yeah, then I just have so much like activity, and it's so crushing. He just retreats the rook. But now the thing is that this square for my knight is just super good. I instantly saw this. It's just this square is like good. I mean, it puts pressure here. It like is in the center. It's a good outpost. I mean, it just attacks this. It's just super good. There's a bishop there just to save the pawn. Here, yeah, king d2, of course. But here I even think it's the top. Yeah, it's the top engine line. Now I got it right. Knight d7. Okay, this is kind of. Oh yeah, keep in mind the last move was the last move. The last game that I showed you was made with a bit more thinking and thought. In this one, not really, because it was already very late, and I had to like go home and like live because life is not only chess. But of course, sometimes it looks like it is, and it's not very cool that it is because I lose so many games. But yeah, here I just take the free pawn like instantly. Of course, that's also allows where you take and takes, and if it takes, they take back. Yeah, you take the rook, and then you have pressure. You have to put the rook here. And I mean, why? We're equal in maturity. Why rush and trade so many pieces? Why not win a pawn? Yeah, but we still trade. I got the bishop for the knight. The bishop is a little superior. Here I moved it back. I was also considering like going bishop h5. Yeah, it just wants me to trade. But the engine also plays end games like a god, and it's not gonna blunder a draw or a loss in a 2 rooks end game. Goes knight f6, which is a decent move. I go h3 just because I don't want to get the knight to jump here. I just want to like paralyze the position. Here he tries e5. I thought that he was gonna play knight e4, and then I traded, but this also makes sense. You are attacking a pinned pawn. Go rook here just to try and solidify, and then now I take with the rook. We trade the rooks, and I'm still winning the endgame. He attacks the pawn. I defend it. This pawn is passed. This one isn't, but I mean, this pawn is passed. 3 against 3, 2 against 2. Yeah, I have a passed pawn, so you're winning. Now here, now this is not a good move. I just, oh no, I first did not take. I went here. Knight b6, going after my pawn. I play b3, just solidifying. He plays knight back to d5. And here I was calculating. I started calculating from like 4 minutes. I was calculating like lines where I took. No, wait. Lines where I took. And then I was like playing here. Or no. I actually, yeah, I now remember. I calculated. Takes. Rook c7. A5. What was it? I don't really remember, but I know I played that in the game. Bishop takes knight, rook takes knight. Oh no, it was rook check. Yeah. King f7. Now rook b there, because now you have to. Oh, I remember now. You have to protect the pawn with the a pawn, and I. Oh yeah, no, I'm like here. It looks like I'm so surprised for this awesome moves that I'm making, because I don't really remember well what I thought, but I mean, yeah, now it's all clear, and it's like the best plan. Here the plan is that with king there, like the rook has no place where he can protect these pawns. So now the rook has to move up, and now I just go rook there, or rook a8 would also technically work. But yeah, rook a8 just wins pawn. Not this one now, it wins the pawn on f5. We check, and yeah, this is a completely winning endgame. I'm gonna speed up a little bit because, yeah, here I played rook there, so we trade the rooks, and I have a passed pawn, and here I played very well. Here my opponent resigned the game. This is completely winning. It's even made in 16 because now I just go with my king up. He goes there. No, I don't check. I mean, it's still not a draw if I check. Like, you don't promote the pawn, you make the red carpet, and now you promote. Now after like this, there's mate. No, not yet. You go king here. There's no stalemating threat. I have mate. Yeah, something like this. It was a good game, and from these games I have to say, oh, and I cannot forget, I have something to tell you guys. I don't really think I have told you guys yet. How do I? Oh, fuck. Okay. I have to show you guys. I'm gonna be in a tournament next weekend, the weekend of 9 and 10 of November, if I'm not wrong. It's that. I can come here. It's this. There's a hair in my computer. It's a little bit late. Oh, it's so bright. Oh my god. Very nice. Where am I? No, this is not me. This is that guy I was talking to you about. I don't like him. He's my friend and all. Here am I. Of course, like I said, Goku with Vegeta. Here am I. I didn't even show you. I think I already showed you guys my little picture. Oh, what I didn't show you guys is that all the like 5 or like 6 tournaments that I played last month, They were all amateur tournaments. I thought that one of them, like if that those all of those tournaments would have counted, I would have won like what like 80, 70 rating in rapid. They didn't. They were amateur tournaments. So yeah, my rating remains with minus 30, which is just so like shit. Like here is a little picture of me in table 4 before I got my ass whooped. For the only time in that tournament, which is progress. Okay, yeah, we're here with 0 wheel because this is gonna be a classic tournament. Classic 90-minute plus 30 seconds. There will be 2 rounds, and there's be like, what, like tons of other rounds that are gonna be blitz and rapid, but those are gonna be amateur rounds, which it's just bad. And I mean, it's only 2 games of like classics, so I mean, let's try to get those 2 dubs or like draws or like 1 win and 1 draw. I'm happy. I'm not happy with 1 win, 1 loss. Also cool, but like 2 losses is I'm not gonna like that cannot happen, bro. Like, please no, just no. But yeah, my head is hurting. But yeah, that's been all. Yeah, but I'm sure. Bye. Oh, it's gotten dark. I hope you guys can still see me. It's getting a little dark.